Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2, the pre-lesson to 6.1. Today we're going to be reviewing properties of exponents. So before we get started, let's do a fast review. Let's say that we have x squared times x cubed. What does that equal? Now remember, the base stays the same and you add the exponents. So 2 plus 3 gives us 5. Okay, let's do another one. Let's say we have x squared over x to the third. Okay, now this is where we think who wins, the top or the bottom? Well, the bottom wins, and the bottom wins by 1. Okay, and we don't write that 1 there, but what do we put on top? Well, we would write 1 up there, so it's the fraction 1x, or 1 over x, okay? And if we had the exact opposite, x to the 3x to the cubed over x squared, who wins, the top or the bottom? Well, the top wins by 1, and would we write over 1? No, just leave it as x. Okay? Okay, one of the other properties we talked about is x squared all to the third power. Now here's when we would actually distribute, and when you distribute, you multiply. When your exponent's 0, the base turns into 1. And then when you have a negative exponent, you drop it like it's hot. So it turns to x3, and then you would put a 1 on the top. Okay? So there's a mini review, and then now let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so number 1. Now, what we need to do is we need to multiply the coefficients, which gives us 35. And now anything that doesn't have an exponent, I'm just going to kind of add a 1 so we don't lose track of it. A1 times A4, we add the exponents and we get a to the 5th. And B1, and oh, there's another B1, so you get B squared. Okay, now for number 3, first we're going to combine everything. So 7 times 7 gives us 49. A negative 3 and A1 gives us A negative 2, B squared. So if our exponent's negative, we have to drop it down. So we get 49B squared, and then A squared goes on the bottom. Okay, number 5. Can we reduce the fraction? 4 divided by 2? Yeah, 4 divided by 2 is 2. And now who wins, the top or the bottom? The top wins by 2. So is there anything that goes below down here? No. So 2y squared is your answer. All right, number 7. As we're starting to go through this, the first thing I see down here, x to the 0. X to the 0, that's 1. Okay? Now, 2, there's no x's, so I keep the x. And who wins with the y's, the top or the bottom? The bottom wins. Oh, and the bottom wins by 2. All right, number 9. Got the exponent on the outside, so I'm going to distribute that to everything, and that's 8 to the 1. So we get 8 squared, x to the 4th, y to the 8th. So then we got to reduce that, or simplify. 8 squared is 64. And we can't do anything else with our other exponents, so those all just stay the same. All right, number 11. going to go through and distribute, and remember that distributes to everything. So that's 2 to the negative 1, v to the negative 1, and u to the negative 4th. Okay, we're just multiplying. So everything's negative, so everything drops down. A 1 on the top, so we get 2 v u to the 4th. Now, quick question for you. I'm going to pull up just a blank sheet real quick. If we had this right here, what moves? Okay, remember, it's only the exponent. If your exponent's negative, that's what drops down. So you would have negative 2, 4, x5, x cubed, and when we reduce that, okay, that is negative 1 over 2, and then combine your x's. Okay, so only move the negative exponent. That's it. Okay? Alright. Oh my gosh, what goes there? Poof. So that's what we're supposed to write. So, if you're adding or subtracting like terms, you only add or subtract the coefficients, okay? The variables of the exponent stay the same. What are like terms? Terms with the same variable and exponent. The coefficient is the number out in front. And we have to make sure that the exponents, or how it's written, or the variables are written, so the exponents of the variables are in descending order. And that's actually called standard form. Okay, so this is all a review. Now, simplify each expression. So I'm going to add the coefficients, which is the 8 and the 4. 8 plus 4 gives me 12, and it's just 12x. Now, number 10, I'm going to look for the highest exponent first. See negative 7 and a negative 8n. Negative 7 minus 8 gives us negative 15n squared. Okay. Next, I see my 3n. 3 plus 4 is 7. And then 10 minus 5 is negative 5. So you find the things that are the same, and then you combine them. All right, let's flip it over. Now, if you are multiplying terms, you must, let me get on my pen, multiply the coefficients and add the exponents of similar variables. So you multiply the coefficients and then add the exponents. So for number 17, we multiply, so it's negative 30, negative 5b squared, negative times a negative, positive 40b. Now, I got to make sure that's in standard form, so that's negative 5b squared plus 40b minus 30. So all I did was just rewrite it, okay? You take what's outside and you multiply it by what's inside. So that gives us negative 7x minus 35x times x gives me x squared. Rewrite that so it's in standard form. And And there you go. Okay, so those first two are just multiplying. Now we have to be a little bit more careful. Okay? So negative 2x squared times x cubed gives me negative 2x to the fifth. A negative times a negative is positive. 2 times 5 is 10. X to the fourth. Negative 2 times 8 gives me negative 16x, and that's to the third power. And then positive 18x squared. And now that 6x to the third, that just stays there. So, what's the thing? That's all by itself, so he just comes straight down. Anything else to the fourth power? Nope. Bringing it down. What about to the third? Yeah, negative 16 plus 6 gives me negative 10x to the third power, and then the 18x is all by itself. I can't combine anything else because they all have different exponents. Okay? All right, now we're going to do the same thing here. Negative 4r to the fifth power. Negative times the negative is positive, so positive 32r, and that's to the fourth. And we get negative 4r cubed, and the rest of that just stays the same. So, what's the same? To the fifth, to the fifth. Combine those together, you get negative 11r to the fifth power. Okay, fourth power, we got the 32. And the fourth, 32 plus 4 is 36. Now, nothing is the same with the third power, so I just write that down. And the same with the 6. And that's it. Now, just remember that all of the evens, or the rest of this, is your homework. If you have any questions, please contact Ms. Carranza or myself. Otherwise, that's it for Algebra 2 pre-lesson to 6.1. Thanks for watching.